Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God, I'm slaying you. Power of the word, two-edged sword. MC Heaven rocks for her Lord. Thought they crept in unaware, didn't see the gatekeeper standing right there. Not getting down with your tactics, undoctrinal practice.
Shalawam, everybody. Barakatha. I greet you in the name of Ahayah, Bahashem, Yashaya, Rawach, Qadash. This is the Crystal Jones Show. It's the show that's all about life's balance. And I am your talk show host, Crystal Jones. You can watch my show every Saturday from 7 to 8 p.m. on BronxNet.tv. Channels 951 and 2137 on the Inspire channel, and also on your cable channels. You can also find me on Facebook at the Crystal Jones TV Show. Subscribe, like, and share my YouTube as well. You can find me at the Crystal Jones TV Show on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel so we can grow the channel. Share my videos, like them. All right. Also, you can find me on Instagram. I have an inspirational page at the Crystal Jones Show. Also, write to me, the Crystal Jones Show at gmail.com. And you can watch me now on HebrewConnect.tv. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to the scripture of the day. The scripture of today is Romans in the King James Version. You'll find, or the New King James Version. Romans, the 9th chapter, the 8th through the 16th verse. It says, that is they which are the children of the flesh. These are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Meaning you can be born into the family of Israelites, but if you're not counted for the promise, then that's not, that doesn't mean anything to the Lord. And you know what I'm saying? In other words, you can say you're of a group of people, but the things that you do will definitely testify to who you really are. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah will have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the promise of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said to her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Remember, of the two twins, Esau and Jacob, the Lord did not like the ways of Esau, because Esau didn't do things from his heart, but Jacob did, right? What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? Does that mean that there's unrighteousness with God? No, God will accept you if your heart is right. If you're doing the right things toward him, that's when he accepts your worship or your praise or your life, right? For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not of him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. Okay? So if you're going to do what's right, God will accept you. But if not, he's not. So he knows before you even born. He said in the book of Jeremiah, right? Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. I knew who you were in the beginning, okay? Because what God created and he made us. So he knows who we are before we get here on the earth. He's spoken our spirit person, who we are and whatnot. So he already knows who we are before we even arrive in our mother's womb, right? So then he knows who's real and who's not. Okay. So you want to be on the real side, right? Okay. So that's the scripture for today. All right. So now we're going to go into today's news. The biggest one, which was the fire here in the Bronx, New York. It killed 17 people, I believe, or could be more. I don't know. Last I heard it was 17. I'm going to read to you from one of the local news. It says, the class action lawsuit filed on behalf of residents, I'm not going to say their names, and the neighbors alleging negligence and poorly maintained safety feature. Okay, so we know that this week what happened, basically, the fire in the Bronx that killed all those people spread because the owners did not make sure that the safety features were on the doors that's supposed to have the automatic slam. It's supposed to be on all the apartments. All right. But a lot of time, because, you know, these are people, you know, that may be poor or whatever, a lot of times people will buy these, you know, big apartments and stuff like that and not care about the upkeep of the place, right? So it says a malfunctioning space heater sparked the fire, causing New York City's deadliest blaze in 3 decades. Okay, New York fire officials said the door to the apartment where the flames broke out was left open. Officials said that while the fire never escaped the 3rd floor, smoke poured into the building stairwells, right? The lawsuit alleges that these particular owners maintained this premises. The lawsuit also alleges the owners didn't maintain steel doors that failed to automatically close during the fire and prevent smoke from spreading. Okay, they failed to ensure smoke detectors were functioning and failed to provide adequate and lawful heat. The lawsuit goes on to say that they had actual notice of defective conditions at this particular premises, which caused the fire prior to January 9th of this year. Okay, silly, silly, silly. All right, foolish, foolish, foolish. How dare you know? And you were warned. People had sent you notification that your smoke detectors were malfunctioning. You know, you failed to provide even lawful heat to these people because you felt they were poor. Because from what I'm understanding, a lot of these people are from Gambia. So again, some Black people you feel that are poor people from Africa or another continent, that you didn't have to do due diligence. But shame on you, and guess what? You deserve what you're getting, because that's a shame that all these people had to die because you wanted to be greedy and get the money from Section 8 or wherever, whoever's helping with these people, pay their rent or whatever. You felt that their lives just don't exist, that, it doesn't matter, and this goes on continuously in America. Yes, America. It goes on like crazy where they don't care. Now, there are a lot of buildings, okay, hint, hint, that still don't have any slam doors that are supposed to close automatically. They're supposed to, make sure that the doors to the apartments and everything like that function properly. Definitely heat. Why would you not give people heat? This is why they, probably have these space heaters and stuff like that, because they're basically freezing, right? So guess what? Now you're going to reap what you sowed. And I'm glad that our people are starting to get wise. When they do that, hit them in their pockets. Class action lawsuit. Everybody in that building should be in on that deal. Get in on that deal and get your money, because they have no business doing that. They should not get away with it. Shame on you. All right. So now the next thing that we're going to go to, and also, I'm sorry, I wanted to say my condolences to all of those who were in that fire. My prayers are with you. And I'm so sorry that you lost your people due to negligence and foolishness. And, it's sad when people come here and think that America is going to be better than other countries and going to treat them better, and they get here and get the shock of their lives. But my condolences and prayers to you all who, lost your loved ones. And thank you to the wonderful people who are giving clothing and food to them and a place to stay. God bless you. And thank you, because you're doing what's right. All right. So thank you. God bless you. All right. So now the next thing we're going to go to, we're going to lighten up a little bit. Because, stuff like that, I just can't stand foolishness. The first video we're going to see is funny teacher comments. We had her on last week where, you know, we showed her the things that go on with parents and teachers at these different teacher conferences, which are pretty crazy. All right, let's take a look at that.
Oh, no, I get it, man. I understand where you're coming from. My sister's a teacher. But, you know, I always tell my sister, you should be in it for the outcome, not the income. Nobody forced you guys to be teachers. I mean, y'all knew how much it paid when y'all signed that contract. Well, nobody forced you to give your opinion, but here we are. And just because I signed my contract doesn't mean that I don't deserve a livable wage. Being an educator shouldn't mean that I signed up to be a doormat. Do you know how many advanced degrees I have? I mean, silly me for thinking I'd be able to live well above the poverty line with an actual master's degree. Oh, that's right. You're a teacher now, aren't you? Oh my gosh, you are so lucky. You get off at 3 o'clock every single day? Girl, we do not leave work at 3 o'clock every day. After school, when the kids leave at 3 o'clock, we're prepping everything that we can for the next day so that at 5 o'clock we can head into our second job. Then head home, drag ourselves into bed at night, and get up and do it all over again the next day. But please do continue about how I get off at 3 o'clock every day. You're a teacher? Oh, so you just like play with kids all day? Must be nice. That's a really ignorant thing to say. Clearly, you have no idea what goes into the teaching profession if you think all I do is play with kids every day. You know when you're a kid and you fall down on the trampoline and everybody just keeps jumping while you're trying to get up? That's what the teaching profession is like. There ain't no time to play. Ooh, girl, I might have paid a little bit more attention in school if I had a teacher that looked like you. Please don't. I know that was supposed to come off as a compliment, but it's not. It's gross. Well, I'm pretty sure that my tax dollars pay your salary, so you're gonna need to do what I asked you to do. Speaking of tax dollars, I'm so happy that you brought that up. Can you use your tax dollars to help pay for the therapy appointment that I'm gonna need after dealing with you and your little baby kids this school year? You could also use your tax dollars to help fund some of these classroom school supplies that we need. And if your tax dollars pay my salary, you must have missed a few payments because my paycheck been looking a little slim. I just want to know why you're always complaining about your job. Like, dang, aren't teachers supposed to be in it for the kids? Just because I complain about my job doesn't mean I'm not in it for the kids. We're allowed to complain about our jobs just like everybody else. You know why I complain? It's the same reason that you complain when you're only 1 hour into summer break with your own kids. Good luck with that. Hey, don't teachers get like a 2-month paid vacation? Man, 2 months to do absolutely nothing? Shoo! Maybe I need to become a teacher. Shoo, so I can give me a 2-month paid vacation. I mean, how hard could it be, right? Okay, well, what you call summers off, I call collecting all the free overtime that I worked during the school year. We do not get a 2-month paid vacation. It's so cute that y'all think that. It's not true. We get paid for 10 months, 180 days. So we have to stretch that 10-month salary into 12 months. And it really doesn't even come out to a 2-month vacation. That first month that we're out of school, you know what we're doing? We're getting ready for professional development, going to conferences, taking trainings. And do you know what we're doing that second month? We start prepping for the next school year. And some of us actually work summer school. So what 2-month paid vacation? Waiter, I'm gonna need another drink.
Just a little humor, because there are some, you know, you do have some good teachers. Thankfully, I had good teachers growing up, but a lot of others, you know, there are a lot of schools that don't. But the ones that do, the teachers that are good, is the things that I'm sure they hear on a day-to-day basis are pretty crazy, right? All right. So the next thing that we're going to go to, one of my favorite actors has always been Sidney Poitier, and he died this week at 94 years old. So let's hear the announcement of Sidney Poitier's death on the news clip that I have.
Unfortunately, y'all, 2022 is off to a rough start. Y'all, we lost another legend. First it was Betty White, and now unfortunately we lost Sidney Poitier, first black man to win Best Actor, died at the ripe age of 94. My goodness. Talk about You know, I mean, listen, I know it sucks that we be losing these folks and all, but my goodness, 94, you know, and Betty White was 99. Like, yo, the having a long life is such a blessing in itself. You know, I mean, just imagine all the things that these people have seen before. They've seen things and lived through things that we've only read about. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is such a blessing, in my opinion. And Sidney Poitier, my God, this dude is like the pioneer, right? Like, he is like, you have actors that look at him as an icon. You know, I think for me, my very first, I think the first one I saw for Sidney Poitier was probably Look Who's Coming to Dinner. If you have not seen that, please go see it. It was absolutely a classic. I mean, you're talking about a movie that at that time, segregation was still an issue, right? Like, racial tensions were still high. I mean, like, if you thought cancel culture and Karens and all this other stuff was no. This was, it was thick back then, okay? But my goodness, that was it. And then even though that was like one of my first things that I experienced, hold on. Matter of fact, we need to watch this, because one of my favorite Sidney Poitier, In the Heat of the Night, 1967, I think. Do I have it? Hold on. I think I have it. Hold on. Let me see if I can put it up. We need to watch this. Can we watch this? Hold on. Let me see if I can get this up.
Some people.
Yes.
Well,
let's watch this.
Some people, well, let us say the people who work for Mr. Colbert might reasonably regard you as the person least likely to mourn his passing. We were just trying to clarify some of the evidence. Was Mr. Colbert ever in this greenhouse, say last night about midnight?
Gillespie? Yeah. You saw it.
I saw it.
Well, what are you going to do about it?
I don't know.
I'll remember that. There was a time when I could have had you shot.
Oh, it's the sad tears for me. Oh, it's the sadness. Oh, they call him Mr. Tibbs. Come on, Sidney Poitier. Y'all don't understand how revolutionary that was. To have a black man smack a white man. Oh, let me tell you something. There is just something about smacking racists in the face that they put a chill in your bones. Anywho, if for whatever reason you have not been privy to Mr. Poitier, please treat yourself. Go out and treat yourself. Go watch In the Heat of the Night. Go watch this man's work. This was acting. He was an actor's actor. Oh, rest in peace to this legend, Sidney Poitier. Oh my goodness. And by the way, if y'all got more recommendations, please put them in the comments. People need to know that this is the guy that also inspired Denzel Washington. We're gonna talk about Mr. Washington in a minute. But and I felt so bad because just a couple days ago, Denzel was getting interviewed, and we gonna actually talk about that interview. and he was just talking about Sidney Poitier. He was just talking about how, you know, he couldn't, like, you know, be on screen with with Mr. Poitier. But and then there we go. Come on, A Raisin in the Sun. Come on now, like, yes. Oh, it's just it's sad. It's totally sad that he is gone. I am praying that my man is in heaven, in paradise. He is at rest. He is at peace. His legacy will never be tarnished for what he did in the world of acting. So yes, shout out to Sidney Poitier. Man, what man? Straight up legend right there.
Thank you.
Okay, so we see Mr. Sidney Poitier, and they mentioned about Denzel. Both of them are lived in my hometown of Mount Vernon, and so those are two great Black actors that I love seeing both of them. But we're going to look at a little bit of the heat of the night again. I have another portion of that particular film. I think my favorite though was To Serve with Love, but I couldn't find that one. But so let's check out what I found for in the heat of the night. Let's go to that.
The Verge here, Chief, he thinks that Harvey's innocent. Well, I'll be damned.
Could I talk to you about it in private?
No, you can't talk to me about it in privacy because I got Colbert's wallet right here in my hand. We took it from Harvey Oberst. You don't think he gave it to him, do you?
I don't know, but Oberst could have come along after the crime, found it, picked it up. I don't know.
That's what the boy said he did.
Well, I'm sorry, man, but I say different.
Well, when I examined the deceased, it was obvious that the fatal blow was struck from an angle of 17 degrees from the right, which makes it almost certain the person who did it is right-handed.
So what?
Old Harv's left-handed, Chief. Everybody in town knows that.
Yeah, that's what we figured out, Chief. Harvey's a lefty, uh-huh.
Well, you're pretty sure of yourself, ain't you, Virgil? Virgil, that's a funny name for a nigger boy that comes from Philadelphia. What do they call you up there?
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
Mr. Tibbs! Well, Mr. Wood, take Mr. Tibbs, take him down to the depot, and I mean boy like now.
I'll have the FBI lab send you the report on this. Not that it'll make any difference.
I'll take that.
Oh, you won't. I'm sending it in, personally.
My God. What kind of people are you? What kind of a place is this? My husband is dead. Somebody in this town killed him. I want you to find out who.
So as we see in the heat of the night, basically there was a murder, and Sidney Poitier was sent there as his name was Mr. Tibbs. He was a detective. And their main thing was they couldn't get over that he was a Black man. Ain't that stupid? But that was going on back then, because that was 1967. All right. And we haven't gotten much further than that. Still, same thing. If you show up somewhere and you're Black, or they don't want you to be a part of and all of that. But it was going on back then. And Sidney Poitier was, he was a trailblazer. He brought it out in those films and whatnot. What was going on back then is that in the South, and especially in the South, it was really bad back then. So, and it's still really the same. They just hide it in different ways. But it's still the same nonsense, same prejudice, same crap, right? But anyway, I love Sidney Poitier. He lived his life, he was 94 years old, and he went on, and I pray that he rest in peace. And I enjoyed him while he was here. And my sympathies go to his family, but joy, because I'm pretty sure they enjoyed him. I always heard good, things about him. And I'm proud of him as being a Black man to show, which is a shame. We got to show that we could also do acting and, different things, just like everybody else. It's a profession. Like, stop making a big deal out of what the person is, right? But like I said, I'm starting Black History early because February is a short month and we're Black every day. So Black History for me is every day. All right. So the next thing, sadly, we're going to go to is missing youth. We're going to move on to that. And our first missing youth is Roslyn Rodriguez. She's been missing since December 8th of last year, 21. She was missing from the Bronx, New York. All right. She's 14 years old. She's a Hispanic female. Her hair color is brown. Her eye color is brown. She's about 5'2", and she's about 120 pounds. If you see her, you know of her disappearance, please get in touch with missingkids.org and also call your local police department so we can get Roslyn back to her family. All right. Okay. And the next person that we have is Janae Childs. She's been missing since December 23rd of last year, 2021. And she is missing from Albany, New York. She's 13 years old. She's a Black female. She has brown hair, brown eyes. Her height is 5'3", and she weighs about 180 pounds. So if you see her, if you know anything about her disappearance, again, call your local police department and missingkids.org so we can get Janae back to her family. Okay. Now we're going to move on to our health and wellness tips. All right. Our first tip is for health and wellness. Use products such as aloe vera and shea butter to keep your skin moist during these cold winter months. Your skin, your hands, they get very, tight and, scaly like. So that shea butter and that aloe vera work very good. So, get products that have that in it, or just get it itself, the actual aloe vera butter, or the aloe vera or the shea butter, and use those for the winter months so your skin is not cracking. All right. Now, business tips for this week is search for online infomercials. They can give you tips and, different things that they have information on, the area that whether you're in business for or you would like to go into, as your own business, you can, start getting tips from different infomercials. All right. So now we've gone through all of that. Now we're going to say our credo. Shama Yasharala, Ahayah, Alahayah Nawa, Ahayah Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God. The Lord our God is one. And that is found in Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter, in the 4th verse. Now, we've been doing a series on Esau and Jacob. As we know, Esau has become today's more European because he started off as Hebrew, but then he went and intermarried into these different nations of people and eventually became a lot of our modern day Europe. Whereas Jacob is still the Black nation of people, which would be from the 12 tribes of Israel, which the Negroes from that are here in America, we are a part of those 12 tribes. So are the Indians that were here in America before they say Christopher Columbus came. They were here like hundreds of years before them, the tribe of Gad. All right, the Negroes that are here, we are the tribe of Judah and usually the tribe of Benjamin. All right, so we're going to talk about the conflict between Esau and Jacob. And it's really crazy how they started off as brothers, but then winded up enemies. All right, and winded up different groups of people. All right, so what we're going to do is today I'm going to strictly be in the Apocrypha. You can, like I said, download the app and the KJVA, which means King James Version, with Apocrypha, or New King James Version with Apocrypha, because those are the apocryphal books. We're going to go over how Esau and Jacob were, and what even Abraham thought of them. So today we're going to start in Jubilees 19, verses 12 through 31. And it says, and in the 6th week, let me keep on my time. Okay. It says in the 6th week, right? Jubilees 19, the 12th chapter, 19 chapter, 12th verse. And in the 6th week, in the 2nd year thereof, Rebekah had bare 2 sons, Jacob and Esau. And Jacob was a smooth and upright man, and Esau was fierce. All right. So this is how they are today. They're very fierce people. Not all of them, but a lot of them are very fierce people. A man of the field and hairy, and Jacob dwelt in tents. Like, a lot of the European nations, this, they always want a war. They want to fight. They got to be in charge. They're like running people off their land and all kind of stuff, just like they did here in America when they came. They, killed up the Gadites with smallpox and all. They're not happy unless they're warring, right? And this was prophesied to Esau, that he would be basically a warring man, because no land was given him by promise. He was given no land, right? So every land that he gets, he has to fight for it. He has to kill people to get it, right? So it says, and the youths grew, and Jacob learned to write. But Esau did not learn, for he was a man of the field and a hunter, and he learned war, and all his deeds were fierce. Now, they have a situation of always, saying how our people are jailed and all of that. But how do a lot of our people get in jail? Half of them shouldn't even be there, okay? Is due to stuff like stop and frisk and all of this other kind of nonsense that they make up when they just decide that they need to have a quota or something like that filled, and they stop our people on the street and claim that they found this or that. And a lot of time they plant stuff on them. And when I say our people, I'm not just talking about the black, well, they call us Black American, but we're not. But anyway, the Mexicans and things like that, they'll stop them in their cars and put drugs in their cars. And the Dominicans and, all of the 12 tribes, basically, they start stuff with us so that our people can be arrested, sit there in Rikers Island for no reason, waiting for a trial that shouldn't even exist. And sometimes they're waiting for years because they don't have the money to pay the bail for the stupidity, right? So this is what's still going on, is that we're under this fierce type of situation. And Abraham loved Jacob, but Isaac loved Esau. So Abraham was Esau and Jacob's grandfather. But Abraham even saw that Jacob was the promised child. Okay, so he loved Jacob, but Isaac loved Esau because Esau would make the venison and stuff that he liked. And Abraham saw the deeds of Esau, and he knew that in Jacob should his name and seed be called. So Abraham wanted his family line to pattern more after Jacob, right? And he called Rebekah, who was Esau and Jacob's mother, and gave commandment regarding Jacob, for he knew that she too loved Jacob much more than Esau. Why? Because Rebekah knew the prophecy, because when she went to Shem and asked him what was going on in her womb, and she said that these two, and Shem told her that these two nations of people were fighting in her, all right, and that the older would, serve the younger. So she knew that Jacob was the promised seed. And he said unto her, my daughter, watch over my son Jacob, for he shall be in my stead on the earth, and for a blessing in the midst of the children of men, and for the glory of the whole seed of Shem. Shem was that son of Noah who came off the ark, right? Because that's basically all the people on the earth today are from one of those three sons, Ham, Shem, or Japheth. Now they lied to us and told us that all black people were Hamites. No, we're not Hamites. We're Shemites. All right. The ones that are Israelites. All right. Hamites are more the African, those who are basically pure African nation. I don't know why they call us all African, but they do. And not that we're better than anybody or anything like that, but I'm just saying, to hide who we were, these are the crazy things that we've gone through. And Japheth would be like the Arabs and stuff like that, that eventually became, some of them became the, the other nations, the Europeans and stuff like that, right? So he said, for I know the Lord will choose him to be a people for possession unto himself above all peoples that are upon the face of the earth. So again, I tell you, we were chosen by the Lord to bring forth the laws and commandments of the Lord and to judge the fallen angels. And in the end of time, we will judge nations of people for the ill that has been in the earth. Okay, because that's going to be brought to a judgment. And people just think that when they leave this earth, they're going to die. No, those slave masters and whatnot, they're alive on the other side. All right, they're not. They're dead to this side of the war of the planet Earth and all of that. But they've moved on. They're waiting for their judgment, and we have been chosen as Israelites to be those people. Okay, so this is why they've tried to put us down, make us slaves, and all of this kind of stuff, because our people did mess up, which winded us up going to the four corners of the earth and being mistreated. But God didn't tell those nations to mistreat us. So those who have mistreated us will receive a just recompense of reward. God is going to avenge us for that. All right. So nobody's getting away with anything. We didn't get away with anything, and whoever is against us is not getting away with anything. All this prejudice and stuff, Karen, Ken, whoever, they're not getting away with that, because who God chooses to do different things, it's not for anybody to come and try to take it from us, because you can't, because we were chosen to do this. Now, if you turn and serve the Lord, like when Christ comes back in the millennial reign, when we gather the nations together to come and serve the Lord, if you serve the Lord, you too will be the blessed and the loved of the Lord as well. So there's no need in all of this crazy stuff going on, right? So it says, and behold, Isaac, my son, loves Esau more than Jacob, but I see that thou truly lovest Jacob, and still further do thy kindness to him, and let thine eyes be upon him in love, for he shall be a blessing unto us on the earth from henceforth unto all generations of the earth. All right. Let thy hands be strong, and let thy heart rejoice in thy son Jacob, for I have loved him far beyond all my sons. So Abraham loved Jacob more than his own sons, and Jacob was his grandson. He shall be blessed forever, and his seed shall fill the whole earth. So we are Jacob's children. We are the 12 tribes. All right. And we fill the whole earth. Everywhere you go on the planet is Israelites. We became Israelites in Jacob. All right. So Esau, yes, those who are under his bloodline are Hebrews by blood. All right. But they're not Israelites. Okay. So they are Hebrews, but a lot of them who are the bloodline of Esau, they don't serve the same God that we do. They serve Molech, and they serve all kind of magic and things like that. They think that when Christ came and healed people, that he used some type of magic. And that's what's in their books that they, a lot of the modern day white Jews use, in their Talmud. And that Talmud is a lot of stuff that is not of the Lord at all. Okay. Even the things that they call us goyim and all of this kind of stuff that's in there. That's not in the Bible at all. All right. So there's a split there. Okay. Because Esau's people more so have gone to serve a false Christianity, or a false Talmud, a Talmud that's a false Tanakh, or a version of a Tanakh, or books that they try to tie in with the Bible. All right, so now we are going to go from there. I'm going to skip that and go to, because I don't have much time, I'm going to go to Jasher now, and we're going to go to Jasher, the 27th chapter, right? And we are going to read from verse 1 through 14, right? So now Esau, at that time, we talked about last week, he went into the field to hunt, and this was the fight between him and Nimrod. Remember, Nimrod is a Hamite. He's from the line of Ham, and he was a mighty hunter on the earth, but he exalted himself against the Lord and started serving other gods, and then he helped with building the Tower of Babel and the crazy stuff that I was telling you with the Tower of Babel. They built the tower so high and started shooting up there, talking about they was going to kill God and take him out, and the angels, and they were going to set up false gods in heaven and all kind of crazy stuff, right? So, and Babel, Nimrod was king of Babel, which means confusion. And that was where the Lord sent down the angels to cause us to not be able to understand each other anymore. And that's where the languages come from. So any languages are offshoots of those 70 languages that the Lord has sent down there, right? So now we see that Esau went in the field to hunt, because there was this big beef going on between Esau and Nimrod. Like, Nimrod was the mighty hunter, but Esau felt like, he's the mighty hunter. So, they went back and forth against each other, and come to find out one day they were in the field, and Esau saw Nimrod and he killed him. He, saw that he was there and whatnot. And so, he winded up killing Nimrod. You can read that in Jasher, the 27th chapter, the book of Jasher, the 27th chapter, right? So let's go on to the 28th chapter. In those days after the death of Abraham in that year, the Lord brought a heavy famine in the land. And while the famine was raging in the land of Canaan, Isaac rose up to go down to Egypt on account of the famine, as his father Abraham had done. Whenever there was a famine, they would, go to Egypt. Just like when Joseph was in power and his fathers and his brothers came there, and they dwelt in Egypt. And the Lord appeared that night to Isaac, and he said to him, do not go down to Egypt, but rise and go to Gerar to Abimelech, right? So I'm going to skip on down to the 18th verse, right? At that time, Isaac sent his younger son Jacob to the house of Shem and Eber, and he learned the instructions of the Lord. And Jacob remained in the house of Shem and Eber for 32 years, right? And Esau, his brother, did not go, for he was not willing to go, and he remained in his father's house in the land of Canaan. So you see that Jacob was willing to follow the instruction of the Lord and be sit and taught by his forefathers, which was Shem. Shem was, I think, his great-grandfather. And Esau at that time was not willing to go and learn the ways of the Lord. He just wanted to stay, with Isaac in Canaan. He didn't care about the ways of the Lord. You see, that his sacrifice to the Lord was very, cheap. And, so Esau was continually hunting in the fields to bring home what he could get. So did Esau all his days. Esau continued to hunt. So he has that mind of hunting after people. And you see that in his people today, because Esau is the one that's in charge right now. They're always trying to hunt down people, hunt down and come up with all these different ways to bring people, it's crazy, right? And Esau was a designing and deceitful man, one who hunted after the hearts of men. You see this? Okay. And Esau was a valiant man in the field, and in the course of time went as usual to hunt. And he came as far as the field of Seir, the same as Edom. So Esau became the Edomites. Seir is that place where, we'll go into another time where he went, and this was where he started going into the other nations of people. This is how he became a lot of the European nation in the field of Seir, which is Edom. And he remained in the land of Seir, hunting in the field a year and 4 months, right? And Esau there saw in the land of Seir the daughter of a man of Canaan, and her name was Jehudith, the daughter of Beri, son of Epher, from the families of Heth, the son of Canaan. Now, Canaanites are the Hamites. They were giants. They were to do with the Nephilim. The Nephilim are the children that were mixed with angels and women on earth. So Nephilim have no part with the Lord, because the Lord said, I never created those creatures. So I have no part in the earth or anywhere for them. So these creatures that are Nephilim have no part with God at all, because, like I said, they were not created by the Lord. So what was Esau thinking he was doing? He just wanted to aggravate his parents, because Esau's thing is he wants to do his thing. He does not want to obey the Lord at all, right? And Esau took her for a wife, and he came unto her. 40 years old was Esau when he took her, and he brought her to Hebron, the land of his father's dwelling place, and he dwelt there. And it came to pass in those days, in the 110th year of the life of Isaac, that is the 50th year of the life of Jacob, in the year died Shem, the son of Noah. Shem was 600 years old at his death. And when Shem died, Jacob returned to his father to Hebron, which is in the land of Canaan. All right. So we see here these things are going on during, a course of time. So quickly, I only have about 10 minutes left. We're going to go to Jasher, the 29th chapter, the 1st through the 41st verse. And Isaac, the son of Abraham, became old and advanced in days, and his eyes became heavy through age. They were dim, and he could not see. At that time, Isaac called unto Esau his son, saying, Get, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, thy bow. Rise up and go forth into the field and get me some venison, and make me savory meat, and bring it to me, that I may eat, in order that I may bless thee before my death, as I have now become old and gray-headed. And Esau did so. He took his weapon. He went forth into the field to hunt for venison, as usual, to bring his father as he had ordered him, so that he might bless him. But Rebekah heard all the words that Isaac spoke to Esau, and she hastened and called her son Jacob. So this is the backdrop of what we talked about a couple of weeks ago. This is the full story here. She hastened and called Jacob, saying, Your father spoke to your brother, and this did I hear. Now therefore hasten and make that which I shall tell thee. Rise up and go and pray thee to the flock, and fetch me 2 fine kids of the goats, and I will get thee savory meat for thy father, and you will bring the savory meat, that he may eat before your brother shall I have come from the chase, in order that thy father may bless thee. So the mother is knowing that the Lord has said that Jacob was going to be the promised seed. Jacob was the one that the Lord loved because of his heart towards God, the good things that he would do towards the Lord. But Esau, the Lord hated his ways, because he just didn't care for the ways of the Lord at all, right? So even before this thing happened, Esau lost his birthright back then with the Lord from the womb. The Lord did not choose Esau, but he chose Jacob. So the way it was brought about in biblical perspective was where when their father was dying, Isaac, when he was getting ready to pronounce the blessing, he thought he was going to bless Esau, but he ended up blessing Jacob. So this is what Esau caused himself angry about. But Esau himself knew that he sold his birthright to Jacob when he had killed Nimrod, and he had to fight against Nimrod's people. He grew weary and tired and wanted Jacob's food. So he told him, I'll sell you my birthright to pay for the food, right? So this is what this is all about, is that Esau is trying to fault Jacob for stealing his birthright, but it was never his, because he was never, even though he came out first, the blessing always lied with Jacob from the womb, right? So Jacob hastened and did as his mother commanded him. He made the savory meat, brought it before his father, before Esau had come from his chase. Isaac said to Jacob, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm Esau." But, Isaac, wasn't sure because it sounded like Esau, right? So Isaac rose up, he ate and he drank, and his heart was comforted. He blessed Jacob, and Jacob went away from his father. And as soon as Isaac had blessed Jacob and he had gone away from him, now Esau comes in from the field. He also made savory meat, brought it to his father. And Isaac said unto Esau, who was he that's taken the venison and brought it to me before you came? And Esau knew that it was Jacob, his brother, that had done this. And the anger of Esau was kindled against his brother Jacob. Now he had already sold his birthright to Jacob. So why was he angry that that Isaac had blessed Jacob? Maybe he thought he was going to get out of the birthright deal, that it was going to be overlooked, right? So his anger was kindled against his brother, that he acted thus toward him. This is the reason why, I'm going to be honest with you, the Europeans that hate us, they hate us because of what happened between our forefathers. They're Esau and we're Jacob, and they do not like us because they feel that they were tricked out of their blessing. But their father, their forefather, is the one who lost his birthright because he had an evil heart from the womb. And the Lord gave that prophecy over the twins long time ago. So Esau said, "Is he not rightly called Jacob?" Which of course means trickster. And so Jacob's name was changed anyway to Israel. "For he has supplanted me twice." So he's saying he tricked him twice. He didn't trick him. He paid for the food with his birthright. And now Jacob got the blessing that he told him that he would get, right? So he took away my birthright, and now he has taken away my blessing. So now Esau is there. He's weeping greatly, right? And Isaac heard the voice of his son Esau weeping. Isaac said unto Esau, "What can I do, my son? Thy brother came with subtlety and took away your blessing." And Esau hated his brother Jacob on account of the blessing that his father had given him. And his anger was greatly roused against him. Probably the reason why they rewrote our history so that we wouldn't find out who we were. They just tried to group us in and say, you're all Africans that came over here on the slave ships. No, a lot of us were Israelites and still are Israelites. But our people are awaking now. Jacob is woke. Jacob is woke. The Israelites, we're woke. We know that we're Israelites, and we know that the white nation of Jews are Hebrews, but the ones that are Hebrews by bloodline, the others are converted. Like the ones that are there in the land now, they are basically Khazars because they've tested their blood and everything like that, and they are from Khazaria, which has something to do with the Yiddish that they speak and stuff like that. That's not even Jewish. That's from I forgot the name of the place that's over there near where they are, but the Khazars are basically over there by like Russia and I forget the other land that's over there. They have no bloodline with us. They chose to be Jews because they had a choice. There was a war going on between basically they had to either become Islam or they had to become Christian. So they didn't want to become either, so they chose to be Jew. They call themselves Jewish. We don't call ourselves Jewish, all right? And that we're Jews from the tribe of Judah, all right? So today's lesson was, again, Esau and Jacob, part 3. So tune in again. We're going to have part 4 coming for you, all right? And keep listening to the Crystal Jones Show. Like I told you, you could check me out every Saturday from 7 to 8 p.m. You could watch me on BronxNet.tv, channel 951, 2137, the Inspired channel, and on your cable channels, Saturday, 7 to 8 p.m. Also, you could check me out on YouTube, all right, and Facebook. On YouTube, sign up for my subscribe to my YouTube channel, and watch the TV show, share and like my videos. Also, you can write to me at the Crystal Jones Show on Gmail, and also check me out on HebrewConnectTV.com. Thank you all for joining and tuning into this lesson. I want to say at the end of this lesson, Kwam Yasharala, Kwam, meaning rise, Israel, rise. If you know what I'm teaching here, share it throughout the earth, because the time has come. What you're seeing is going on. We have to arise. It's our duty to spread the gospel, to spread what's going on in the earth. We have to. Israel, rise up, do your duty, do your job, and you stay balanced. All right. We bless you in the name of Ahayah, Bahashem, Yashaya, Rawach, Qadash. Shalawam and Ahthah. Stay balanced.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
There was a time in my life where I was extremely homesick. I decided that I needed a pet. When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. He jumped up and kissed me and jumped right into my arms. I immediately went up to the volunteers at the shelter and said, "I want him. He's got to come home with me." Now I'm anything but lonely. Every day with Turtle is a perfect day and keeps me company when I'm doing schoolwork. I like it when he jumps up on the table too. He is a veggie thief. He's an incredible companion and my best friend. Can't say that I've met anybody that doesn't love him too. When I adopted Turtle, I discovered all the things that make him unique. He's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly he's all pure love.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God, I'm slaying you. Power of the word to a sword. MC Heaven rocks for her Lord. Thought they crept in unaware, didn't see the gatekeeper standing right there. Not getting down with your tactics, undoctrinal practice.